What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we're going to talk Sauce Gardner. So I've told you I think that he is the best corner in this draft. And when we talked about Stingley, though, I said that I think that when he's on his A game, he has the potential to be the best pro. And you'll notice I was really hard on Stingley when I did that video. Okay. So with Gardner, he's not the perfect prospect. There are some mistakes that he makes. And when you're the best, and I think you're one of the top guys, I'm going to be harder on you than I am on the other guys. That's just how I am as a coach. So let's get into it. We're going to start with some of the mistakes that he made. All right. So, college football playoff game, right? Going up against the number one team in the country, Alabama. All right. So, first play. We got 3-by-1 formation. We got stack alignment right here, okay? And so at the start of the play, they go with this yo-yo motion, and then they motion the tight end out to end up having this bunch set right here, right? And you'll notice that Gardner creeps down when that happens, right? And he ends up shoulder to shoulder with this nickel right here, the slot corner, right? Now, I'm not in their meeting room, right? I'm not in their playbook, but I don't know any DB coaches that want two DBs on the same level, right? You don't want to be shoulder to shoulder with a guy because you'll get picked, all right? And what ends up happening, right? Turns into this huge cluster. Now, it's a run play, right? But it's important not to do things like that because the eye in the sky never lies, right? Those offensive coordinators, they got guys up in the booth and they're looking at this stuff, right? The reason why they do little things like this is they want to see how you're going to react to it. If this ended up being a tunnel screen, ball gets thrown here, look at how much space there would be for this receiver to work with. That's not good. You got to have better leverage on this play, right? So, next play we're going to watch here, okay? So, we got this 2-by-2 formation here, right? And what ends up happening is we're going to get an inverted smash concept, right? So this guy's going to go inside and then he's going to run the corner route and this guy is going to run the out route, okay? So what I like to say to my guys is if you get that in-breaking route, right, because they're in cover 2 here, okay? So you can see this safety, he's going to his half field. This safety's got a good position here in his half field position. They just did a good job of disguising it, right? So what I tell my guys is if you get this inside release, right, he reroutes himself, but help him get there, right? Get a little bit of a hand on, push that guy because offenses are all based on rhythm and timing. If you can get them just a tick off, right, it's going to be good for you, okay? When you get them off their game. But he doesn't get any hands on, which is fine. Not everybody coaches it that way. That's fine. But what you have to do here is you've got to apex this, right? You got to play this deep to short, right? Get a little bit tighter to this corner route. Force the quarterback to throw it down here. Bait him into throwing it down here. We can rally up and make a tackle. He's a little too short, right? Not a perfect apex. He's too close to this receiver right here, right? Ball gets thrown, and this is what I have a real problem with, right? No effort, right? We know this guy is 6'3". He's probably got a 7-foot wingspan, right? So the ball probably is too high for him to get to, but this is the college football playoff, right? You're going up against the number one team in the nation, and you give that little hop and don't even throw your hand up to try to get a hand on the ball. I don't like that. I don't like that, all right? We'll get a better view of it from the tight, so we'll be able to see here, right? Just a little hop and no full extension, right? That 7-foot wingspan. Come on, man. I got to see more effort than that, right? So this next play, a lot of people have questions about his tackling, right? I have less questions about it, but I'm going to show you a play that gives some fuel to those people's fire here, right? Okay. So it ends up being a run play, and he's pretty lazy in his pursuit. Look at him jogging. This guy totally whiffs on this tackle, and he realizes, oh, crap, I got to get down there, right? He's been jogging. Now he's like, oh, crap, I got to get down there. And then he stops his feet. He does this from time to time, this catch tackle technique. No, we want you to run your feet. We want you to bring it, okay? Also, it's got to take a better angle here. Aim for this guy's outside thigh, right? Aim for his outside thigh. Pursue him outside in, and the backside pursuit is going to get to him. But instead, he whiffs on it, and it ends up being a bigger gain than it needs to be. All right. So we'll get a nice, good angle of it from the tight here, right? This dude gets whoop, smoked. Then he's out here. He's got his feet stopped. Catch tackle right here. Arm tackle, right? Not running his feet. That's just not good. Not good. All right. So next play here, right? We talked about with Kaiir Elam and the struggles that he had with leveraging blocks. Well, we'll see that right here, okay? He does a better job to start, so we'll see it. He does a better job to start the play, right? Tacks a stock block with two hands, and he's got more pressure on him with the inside hand, right? Trying to get that outside hand free. So this is a good position to be in, but what ends up happening is, same thing as Elam, he gets his shoulders turned. And this time it was because the receiver just muscled him, right? Muscles him. His numbers are showing to the sideline. We never want to be in that position. And then he starts getting driven back, right? Gets driven back on the play. That's just not good. Not good, right? So we'll fast forward this a little bit so we can get a better view of it, right? So to start, let's see if we can see it here. We don't get the start of it, but we get the point where his shoulders get turned, right? Showing his numbers to the sidelines, and then driven back forcefully. That's just not good. Not good, all right? So now we got him at the top of the screen here. We're going to get into the stuff that's good, right? We're going to get into the stuff where it's like, okay, this dude can ball. So he's lined up against the tight end. For me, the way that I feel about covering tight ends for corners, especially big physical corner like him, you don't need to use your normal technique, right? You don't need to be as technically sound. You can be a little bit more forceful, right? Because these guys aren't as quick. So what he does is he does a two-hand jam, right? You'll notice that if you watch it on tape, most really good corners, they're not going to be as technically sound against tight ends because they trust their quickness and their speed. So you can two-hand jam a tight end. So he two-hand jams this tight end, right? But as he jams him, right, and he's getting downfield, he naturally gets into that one-hand jam, right? So he's got the correct hand here, right? So then the tight end tries to redirect to get outside since he's doing such a good job of pressing this guy. And notice how he switches hands and moves his hips. That is really good technique right there. Perfect, all right? No separation. Bryce Young wants to go there, can't throw it there. It's got to go out of bounds. That flawless technique, right? That's what makes him the best corner in this draft, right? We can start unsound since it's a tight end, but then we can get sound real quick, right? So we get a nice, good view of it here, right? Look at that. There's no separation here, nowhere to throw that football. That's a really good rep. So this play right here, okay? This is the one that I really like. This is one of my favorite plays from him in this game, okay? And people that want to say he can't tackle will watch this play right here, okay? So it ends up being this little quick game throw out here, this little quick screen, right? So what's really good about this play is he realizes and recognizes this receiver doesn't want to block him. He's trying to crack block, right? Crack, replace. He gets off it immediately, gets downhill, and bang, tackles one of the fastest receivers in all of college football. Really good play right there. Love it, okay? So this next play right here, okay? All right, we talked about Andrew Booth Jr. and some of the struggles that he had. Well, his press technique, Gardner's, is way better, right? See how his feet are nice and balanced, okay? Nice balanced feet. Throws that hand, gets on top, okay? And there is no separation. Again, with one of the fastest dudes in all of college football, no separation. The one thing that you will notice if you watch Sauce Gardner's film, there is never any separation. Receivers don't get separation from him. Like, I don't know if, some of these analytics firms or PFF or whatever, if they measure the separation rate against corners, he would be at the top of the list, right? You can't find it. You can't find any tape where receivers separate from him. And if they do, he recovers very, very quickly, right? So for him, COVID is over. Ain't no social distancing around here, but he's going to be a mask on that receiver, okay? So This next play, again, we'll see it, right? So they come out here in this bunch set, okay? He's pressing the point. He's in man-to-man with this dude, okay? And what do we always talk about? Can you keep up with the receivers, right? Well, he can keep up. Look at that. No separation. COVID's over, baby. He's attached to that dude, right? No distance between the two of them. Really, really good rep right there, right? So on this next play right here, okay, he's at the top of the screen. And on this one, it's again another situation where they're trying to run this high-low kind of thing right here, right? And he does a good job of reading the quarterback's eyes, right? Sees that Young wants to go here, gets attached to it, right? Drives, but doesn't drive too hard, right? I like this. This is some stuff that Deion Sanders used to do. He wants you to throw that football there. He wants to bait you. He wants you to feel like it's a little bit open. See how he stops? But Bryce Young is smart and throws the ball away. It's really good rep right there. So this next play here, he's at the top of the screen, and they're in zone coverage, right? Going up against Notre Dame, all right? And so I don't know the rules of this coverage, but I'm assuming what he has here is he's going to be man-to-man on this tight end only if he goes deep. He's going to cut the under. So he cuts the under, takes a couple steps in, realizes I'm going a little too far, stops, reads the quarterback's eyes, and gets to where he needs to be and gets an interception, all right? So some people will say on this play, oh, the quarterback was under pressure. He shouldn't have threw the ball there or whatever. But no, this is a good job in understanding route distribution and understanding where you're supposed to be in zone coverage. So we see here, he goes inside, right? So he stops, gets eyes on the quarterback because if something's going in, that means definitely something's coming out. They're running mesh here. And bang, he picks that thing off. Gets his hands on the football, right place, right time, understanding zone coverage, all right? So now we've got him at the bottom of the screen, and they're going to run the corner blitz, right? So we talked about with Trent McDuffie how he did a good job of understanding in corner blitz that you got to aim for that mesh point, right? And when I say the mesh point, it's the ball in between the quarterback and the running back. Aim for that point. And the reason why we aim for that point is the ball is not going to come outside if the back is over here, right? The ball is going to go inside. If it's going to go outside, it's going to be tossed. That means it's going to be an elongated play. You're going to be able to get to the football, right? So the ball is always going to go inside or this way, right? So we want to aim for that mesh point. We're going to end up trailing it, and we'll be in a good position. If the ball is inside, we take a nice good angle like that. We can get flat, right? We don't want to get over our skis and blitz way too hard, come in there, try to come in like a missile or whatever, right? We're going to run ourselves out of play. He does a good job of taking that angle and then going flat down the line of scrimmage. Look how he redirects, stays nice and flat, doesn't get upfield, aims for that outside thigh of the running back, and gets the tackle. That's beautiful technique right there. Beautiful blitz technique. That's one thing I want to watch. It's not a huge thing, right? It's a little icing on the cake for things. But it's like, do you understand when we call it the corner blitz, what your role and what your job is? He understands it. See how he's nice and see how his angle is flat, right? See how the angle right here is flat down the line of scrimmage, right? That's good technique right there. That's a good job. We know now that we can run blitzes with you. I love that. So here he is at the top of the screen. All right. Again, we got receivers going across the field. He's in this guy's hip pocket, right? Zero separation, right? You cannot get away from Sauce Gardner, right? You cannot get away from him. He does not believe in social distancing, right? So, again, right? See that? Look how tight that coverage is. All over him. All over this guy going across the field. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so here we go. We got him at the bottom of the screen here, okay? He's lined up on this tight end, all right? And so, to me, this tight end is running an out and up, right? I wouldn't call it a wheel because he goes out and then up. But let's look at Sauce, right? Look at him. He's out here on this guy, right? Does a good job of being nice and patient, right? He's not getting out. He's not backpedaling. He's not running anywhere, bailing or anything like that. It's a tight end. He trusts his speed, right? It goes outside, right? So when he goes outside, he's taking a nice, good angle going to where the receiver is going to be, right? He's not trying to get to him. He's going to where he's going to be, because if it's an out, he'll be able to see through the receiver to the quarterback and try to pick the thing off. If it's an out and up, he's going to run right to him and cut him off. That's exactly what happens in phase. No separation, right? Seeing all these clips, ain't seeing no separation here, right? So again, we got him at the top of the screen. I love this rep right here, right? We get this little whip route. He tries to go in and back out, and we can see at 6'3" with these long legs, the ability to redirect these kinds of hips, this is unheard of. Look at this. Bang, right? Gets that foot in the ground, flips those hips, and he is all over it. The other reason why I really like this rep is the quarterback's eyes are here, right? This is a quick game, quick hitting throw. Quarterback wants to go here. We can see it, but Sauce is all over it. So since it's a quick game throw, it's got to be in rhythm, in the good timing. So the quarterback knows he's got to get the ball out. So now he's got to throw it over here. And what happens? It gets picked off, right? That doesn't go in the stat sheet for Sauce, but that's a phenomenal play right there, right? They want to get the ball there. You're in tight, sticky coverage, gets the quarterback out of rhythm, makes him make a bad decision, and your team gets an interception. Sauce is just as much a part of that interception as the dude that made the play. Awesome. So now we got him here at the top of the screen. All right. And so on this play, I didn't get to show you this with Andrew Booth Jr. because I didn't get any of the all 22s of it. But Booth Jr. is really, really good at getting in phase, in zone coverage, right? He is really good at doing that. And that's a hard thing to do, because what these receivers want to do is they want to run to your blind spot. He's really good at just like understanding that the receiver is pushing me vertical. I can't see him anymore, but I'm going to fade into him and cut him off. He's phenomenal at it. Sauce, not as good at it, but he's got great recovery speed. So what ends up happening is he loses the receiver in his blind spot. And so this is the first time anyone's going to get any kind of separation from him. But those long legs, that long stride, he's able to get back there. Also helps that the ball is a little bit underthrown, but he was still catching up anyways, gets in position, and makes a play on the football, right? That's one thing that we want to see. Do you have recovery speed, right? So I love this play too, because a lot of times when you see this happen to a DB, it ends up being PI. But he's really good. He doesn't panic, right? He does not panic, and he does a good job of reading the tempo of the receiver. He notices that this guy is starting to slow down, so what he does is he goes outside rather than running straight to the guy and getting a PI. He runs outside of him and then makes a play on a football. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why this man, Sauce Gardner right here, is the best corner in the draft. I'm really excited to see where he goes. I think he's going to go top 10, right? You can't coach 6'3". You can't coach his phenomenal speed, and you cannot coach the athleticism that he has. So I'm super excited to see how this guy ends up translating to the NFL, what system that he goes to, and I want to track his career very closely. So we're going to get to some more guys, right? Some guys that are a little bit lower down on the list. All the guys that we talked about so far are either first round locks or will sneak in at the end of the first round, most likely. Now we're going to start to get into some of the guys who are a little bit on the outside. We're also going to mix in some safeties. I don't think this draft is as rich at safety. We all know who the best safety in the draft is. If you don't know, then you don't watch much college football. So we're going to cover him at some point too. But as always, you know what it is. It's Coach Williams, Ball Hawks. We fly. I'm out. Peace.